We have got another kit aquarium from Superfish. I've done quite a few now. I've actually done a bigger version of this, but I saw the smaller one, I thought, you know what, this would be perfect for a BETTA. So we've actually got the Superfish Quadro 70 here, the Quadro 40 here, the Scaper shallow version, 3 of the Scaper 140s. So basically, yeah, what I'm saying is, I've got a lot of the kits from Superfish, and the reason I keep getting them is because they're absolutely brilliant. So yeah, at first I was like, this tank is a bit too small for, you know, large shoal of fish, something like that. I mean, a small school would be okay. I was originally thinking, okay, a shrimp tank. And then I thought it's the perfect size for a BETTA. Also, this is very, very affordable, and it's all in one as well. For around £80, £90, or, you know, 89 euros, you get a full kit, pretty stylish. And I think that's great value for money, to be honest. Let's get it out of the box. And to be honest, all of Superfish's stuff is great value for money. I can't see another company that offers, you know, a product at the prices they do. And that's not just because I'm sponsored by them, of course. I chose to be sponsored by them. I picked them, they picked me, because I like offering you guys great value. I mean, it's not just great value, the quality is good, and everything looks awesome as well. Like, it looks like, look at that. It's great. Do you know what's funny as well? Things have gone full circle. Now, I actually bought one of these tanks about 5 years ago, just as I was starting off on YouTube and getting more tanks, but I needed something very affordable. I bought it used, and the reason I wanted it at the time was because you could get it, I just wanted the glass. I wanted the glass bit and the light. This was before you could get a Scaper range, which was like, you know, real clean lines and things like that. It was damaged as well, so I took off the base, took off the sides, just had the light and put just 2 bits of wood either side. And obviously, this looks a bit, well, I suppose what I did looked quite nice, but this looks good for like a modern sort of design. I'd say like a dining room or kitchen side, something like that. You get quite a lot of white kitchens, don't you? So yeah, let's take a look at everything. Oh yeah, the tank also comes in black if that's what you prefer. It's pretty self-explanatory, but what's quite good about this one is, look, we've got a lid. And I actually like that it's not glass. The amount of glass lids I've broken, but you know, you don't have to worry about that. It just comes on and off nice and easily. Gonna need a lid as well because we've got a BETTA fish. Full instructions, don't need those. And we've got the filter, which goes into this slot here. Now, because we've got a BETTA fish, I don't need a heater because I heat my room, but you might need one if you're at home, if you've got a lower temperature. And there's a slot right in here. Yeah, look, there's a slot for a heater. You can buy the Superfish heater and that just slots neatly in there. So everything is hidden away and it'll look really neat. Anyway, let's test out the light and just see what sort of power pack in. If I remember rightly, it's a pretty high amount of light. Extension lead, check. We have light. Oh, it ramps up. More. Okay, that's quite a lot. It's still going, it's still ramping. Still ramping. Okay, that's very bright. It's still going up. You can adjust it though. It's still going up. It's still going up. It's still I think we're there. Okay, that is very bright. So you can adjust, you can turn the blues off, which I will probably do because I always find that blue LEDs can cause algae. And then we can dim it down as well, as wanted. And then when you turn it back on, it ramps back up again. Okay, cool. Filter, Aquaflow 100. Says 200 litres an hour. Comes with a spray bar, which is good because we want to diffuse the flow because obviously we've got a BETTA fish in there, so they don't like being blown around everywhere. And that just literally slots in there. A bit lower. There we go. Turn the spray bar around so it's actually facing out. That'll work perfect. Just a little bit of flow coming on the top, work its way round, goes back in at the sides. Yeah, easy to remove. All good. Oh yeah, don't forget the little cover as well. I don't know why I put the wire like that. Comes this side. Right, conclusion then. This light is definitely, oh, I've just turned it down. Whoops, there we go. This light is definitely powerful enough for growing plants. I can tell that straight away. It's basically the same tech that I've got in my other tanks. Now I'm going to be doing a planted tank, so I want a nutrient-rich substrate. I also want to remove this sticker because that's going to be very annoying. Oh, it's the inside. Now you do have options here. If you wanted to go for something really simple, you can have just a gentle sand at the bottom, some pieces of decoration, some wood and some rocks, and then attach plants all to that, and that would work perfectly fine. That's literally what I did in this tank. It's been running beautifully for a long time now, and it's the same tech in the lights. It's these LEDs. Is that showing it? They're like round LEDs, a couple of blues, and yeah, works really well. I don't get any algae on the tank. The lighting's just perfect. The Java fern is the only plant struggling, and that's because they require a little bit more fertilizers, and I always forget to fertilize this tank for some reason. I don't know why. But for a planted jungle, you do need nutrients under the substrate. So underneath all of this is like, I've got NutriBase, some pond compost, that kind of thing, some root tabs. Oh, there's a little baby shrimp there as well, which means the shrimp are breeding, which is awesome. Thank you very much. Now, although this tank looks pretty cool, it's quite difficult for me to show you what I'm doing with the light on because I need to lift the lid and then it does that. So I'll just bring in a panel light whilst we're building it so you can see what we're doing. So first things first, some NutriBase. I find this stuff is absolutely brilliant at starting off tanks. It just gets it going straight away, way quicker. It's got like beneficial bacteria sort of dormant in it. It's got nutrients all for the plants. I just find everything settled in so much quicker when you use this. Now I don't need this whole bag, anything like it actually. And I've got one down here that's already open. And I probably don't even need that much, but you know me, more is more, so I'll probably use it. So we don't need a huge covering, but it's going to be banked at the back a little bit more, so I'll put some more in the back. I actually used barely any of that. Tuck it all in. Some in the foreground, because we do want the plants to sort of grow everywhere, but I don't really like to see the underlayer. I just think it sort of spoils the whole look. Then I like to stick in a little bit of premium aquatic soil. It's pond soil. I'll leave a link for you guys that are interested, an Amazon link. Not an essential part of this, but I just find it bumps up the nutrients even more. And then if you can get your plants growing even faster, then they'll take care of the water for you and you're just winning. And again, you don't want to go silly with it. It's just like a sort of thin dusting. If you can't get aquatic compost, you can use normal compost as well, just don't use a lot of it. This stuff has had a lot of the organics floated out, so it's less nutrient dense than regular garden compost. That's why it's for aquatic use. Basically, it just doesn't float all around your water column. A little bit more. Then we can also sort of mix all of that in together. And there we go, our plants now have lots of nutrients. And like I say, if you want to just put sand in, like a layer of sand about that much, and put plants in, that will still work. It'll just take way longer because there's no nutrients in the sand. The only way the nutrients get in the sand is as the plants break down, like little particles work their way into the sand, fish poop, stuff like that, works its way in. That's why I never clean sand substrates if I've got a planted tank, because I want those nutrients in the sand, become food for the plants. The plants grow really, really healthy, and then the water just looks after itself and just stays perfect. Obviously not to start with though, that's the point. If you just put pure sand in, it's going to be ages before there's enough nutrients, ages before the tank gets nicely balanced. It just makes things way harder than just spending a little bit extra and getting those nutrients to start off with. NutriBase is a godsend in terms of just speeding everything up as well. Another thing that people don't realize as well is that as the soil pieces break down, they will generate CO2, which will bring down your water's pH. The lower the pH, the sort of better I found that all plants tend to grow. It doesn't mean they can't grow at a high pH, but if you can bring it down at all, it's invariably going to mean that you're going to get better plant growth. Stems seem to do really well at lower pHs, but there are lots of plants that do well at high pH range as well, if you don't want to bring yours down. Hardy plants do tend to do well in the high pH range. So this all now needs capping, and because we've got a white sort of facade on the whole, oh, pulled that up, a white facade on the whole tank, I'm going to go for a darker substrate to sort of contrast it. I think that will look a lot better. Well, to start off with, I'm going to cap it with just some sand. There's a bit of gravel in there, just reusing some stuff. And then I'll use the Mano-based black. This is from Colombo as well. Yeah, Mano-based black, much darker. It's got other flecks of colour in it as well. It's the same stuff that I've used in all three of these tanks. Gives a real sort of natural look actually. So yeah, sand goes in and caps over the top of everything. I'll remove any of the bigger gravel. Make sure you're sort of covering everywhere. And as I've said before, the good thing about the nutrient-based and pond soil underneath, if you do pull up plants and some goes into the water column, it doesn't actually matter. It'll be a bit moldy, but it's quite realistic, to be honest. Just removing these bigger stones. And like I say, I don't like seeing this edge, so I'm just gonna tuck it away from the side. And then when we put in the next layer, the black sort of sand, it's gonna just fall in that gap and then you won't see all of that. And then we cover everything starting at the front. There we go, that looks better. Just sort of level it out a little bit. Doesn't need to be perfect. So nutrients locked down, but also there's a good amount in there to be able to plant into as well. So I'm going to be making this tank a jungle style, which means I don't want too much hardscape. I want plants to be the main thing. Shock horror. So that of course means not making the hardscape too big, but a bit of a scaffold, if you like, for plants to be able to sit onto, stick to. I don't know why I said sit onto. They'll be glued on. But then the space around it as well to put other plants. So obviously simplicity is key here with a small tank. So I've got 2 pieces of wood here and just pushing them out. Yeah, they're gonna be able to sit in there even with the lid on. So take them out. I'm gonna build a little structure out of the tank and then I can just sort of plonk it in and it should work. So this is the front view of that. And from the back, look, they overlap. I'm just gonna drill a hole or screw in there and those two are locked together then. There we go. Looks like one tree. Does it fit? Does it fit? Okay, it will fit once I've sunk it down a little. Yes, there we go. Instant hardscape. Now, of course, we're going to need rocks to go around this as well, and I'm going to use pebbles purely because they won't change the parameters of the water. Cereal stone in a small scape like this could potentially raise the pH. Just putting them near, just to lock it sort of down more than anything. You won't see a lot of this hardscape, not with the planting that I've got planned. It's just purely a structure for the plants to attach to. And as always with the kit aquariums, I'm assuming that the audience is going to be sort of quite new and thinking, you know what, for that price, I'd like to have a go at that. I can see that being in my sort of living space. I'll try to come up with a design here that like anyone could just have a quick go at. They're not going to have to spend a ton on hardscape. And because it's small, you're not going to need a huge amount of plants either. So the idea of this scape is to like try and get you guys to have a go at it. And then we can move on to more complicated things if you want to, upgrade your tank, take a look at some other videos, for instance, this giant thing behind us here. So yeah, we're keeping it simple, but hopefully by the end of this, it should be really impactful and something you go, oh, I can really enjoy having that in my home space. I'm gonna have a go. So to lock all that down, I'm gonna use a little bit of super glue gel. Where is it, where is it? There it is. Yeah, so it's like normal super glue, but it's a gel, which means that it doesn't just run everywhere, and I can just put it in between that crack there. I can put it in between the 2 points and then it will harden and everything won't float up because that's always very annoying. If you're new to this, your wood will float when you fill it up unless you lock it down. Be generous with your glue as well. Get it right in there, touching both points. And I've actually got a little chemical that I spray on that now. It makes it go hard straight away so I can keep working. If you don't have that, let it rest for 24 hours, trust me. Yeah, it's like a little reacting agent. I'll leave a link for that as well. Spray it on, just one squirt, and that'll go hard straight away. So we have our structure ready to go, and now it's for planting. And I have just received a plant delivery, but I've forgotten what I've ordered, so this will be cool. Well, we certainly won't be needing all of these. These plants, all of them are from Aquafleur. There you go, there's the logo. And as you can see, look at how vibrant and amazing they all look. Trust me guys, when you want to get plants, go to your local shop and ask for Aquafleur. If they don't stock them, then get hold of them because all of them look like this as well. I've been to see the actual greenhouses where everything's grown. It's just like a mile of immensely good plants. We've got various crypts. We've got the bulbitis, definitely want to use that. We have got Java Fern Windeloff, and we've got the Java Fern Greens variety as well. They're quite large. So if I do use those, I'll probably trim off the biggest leaves. But we've got all the Anubias as well down here. So that just adds all the different textures. When you mix these together and some crypts, it looks jungly, it looks amazing. That's what we're going for. And I've also got 3 pots of Monte Carlo for the foreground area as well, because I know that this light can definitely grow them really well. In fact, we'll start off with the Monte Carlo. Very easy to prep. Take it out. I've had it for quite a while, so it's going a bit bad at the bottom, but the top stuff's all good. It'll just continue to grow and add some nutrients as well. These are about a month old now, so keep them together in little bundles and plant them like that. Perfect. Right, next up we can start adding our Anubias Nana Mini to the rocks and to the wood. You can either push it in this instance there's a really good gap down there, so I can just push it into the gap and that'll be locked in there. Again, there's another gap the other side, so I can push that one in. Nice. If you do want to put some up the top more, which I'm not going to because I've got other plants up there, all you need to do is use the super glue gel again, press it on, give it 10 or 20 seconds, let go, and it'll be fine. Now a good place for some Anubias is back here to add a little bit to that area. A little bit of glue on the wood and just place the Anubias on top. How's that all looking with the light on? Yeah, looking nice. At the moment, the light is just sort of in a bar in the middle, but obviously when there's water in it, sort of transperses it. Is that a word? We'll go with that. And then I've got a really nice coffifolia plant, which I can see looking great in that middle section there. Big leafed. I'll bring it more forwards, actually. Look at the crinkles on the leaf pattern. It just looks really cool. It makes the tank look aged straight away versus the smoothness of the Anubias Nana Mini. And then behind that, I've got a nice pot here of fluffy Bulbitis. Look at that. I love this plant, it's my favourite. It just looks like a jungle straight away. I actually learned quite a bit of what I'm doing now from Ty Streetman recently, which was using bigger leaf plants in smaller scapes, which is not something I usually do. I normally keep it to scale, but when you're doing a jungle tank, the bigger leaves just make it all look way better. I've actually ripped it in 2 pieces as well, which means that we can use it in multiple areas, just for adding extra detail. See a gap down there? Oh yes, look at that. Love it. All so simple so far, right? Let's keep going, adding more plants. You could stop there with plants, by the way. You don't have to do more, but more is better. It just works out better. Again, I've split the Java fern in half because I just want to put little tufts of detail here and there. And if I make it too big, it's just going to look out of place. There we go, just a little one in there. And I'm thinking another one down in that gap. Bit of glue for that one though. Now I want to fill out the back sections a little bit more, but I don't want fast growing stem plants because I'm just going to be trimming them all the time because the height of the tank isn't that, that high. So what I've done is I've got some other Anubias here. I put up on screen what it is because I can't remember, but it's like a tall narrow leaf, and I've attached some rocks to the rhizome area, which doesn't harm it at all. I can just put those in the back. So yeah, coming along really nicely, and now again on another rock, or a piece of slaty rock that is, we've got Bucephalandra and more Anubias. I'm just thinking that little section there. Oh, that fills it out so nice and just keeps like a border. Then I've got a little bit of crushed slate for some detail, just because it looks a little bit sterile on the bottom at the moment. So just dot that around, push it up next to the rocks. Just creates a bit more realism, Well, I think it does anyway. Some people like it more cleaner. But again, that's completely up to whatever you choose. That's the beauty of all of this. It's your preference, whatever you want to do. And then for the background area, we want something tall, and I'm thinking this Cryptspiralis. There's some crinum there, but that's going to get absolutely huge. So I think I'll go with the Vallisneria. I said crypt, didn't I? Spiralis. It's Vallisneria spiralis, as you can see there. And this can go right in the background area. It will actually grow upwards and then loop over this way. And for a bit more texture in this foreground area, I'm going to use Cryptocorini Mehumani. Now, crypts do not mind shaded areas, so that's why it's okay to put it down close and, in and amongst all the other plants. They grow in low light. They grow really well in high light, but they also do well in low light. They look a little bit different in low light, but they still look good. So I'm now going to fill the whole thing up, and if I want to add any more, then I will, but I think that's going to be enough. It's like a little mini jungle already. Don't know if you noticed it there. A shrimp found its way into the tank, and it was on some of the plants I just pulled out of the other one. So yeah, I'll leave them in there. It's all good. The water, by the way, is already dechlorinated. It's from my water butt, which I had dechlorinated to and just fill it up regularly so I could do water changes nice and quickly. But that is looking really nice. Loads of places for the BETTA to hide. Not too bright, you know. Some areas are obviously brighter than others, but loads of shaded areas are going to feel really comfortable in here. Let's get that filter running, get it crystal clear. So I would say for a BETTA in this smaller space, that filter is running a little bit too fast. So all I've got to do though is flip it, spin it round the other way so it hits the glass. I'll take a lot of speed out of it and then it will just travel around gently. There we go. That's much more gentle now. Bubbles are just gently flicking around. Right, let's leave it to get clear and we can put our fish in. So it's now the next day and as you can see the tank has cleared up beautifully. Everything is looking good. Our shrimp is doing fantastic, owning the place at the moment. But it's time to introduce you to the inhabitant that's going to be living in here. And here he is, an absolutely stunning fancy BETTA. He's like, what are you looking at? So it's a plaquette, is it? Yeah, a plaquette, which is like a short fin variety. I've always found that they do a little bit better than the long fin ones, which can be kind of overbred. Very, very nice colours, and he's going to look great in that tank as well. Now, I don't name my fish. I made a mistake of doing that quite a bit first early on when I started keeping them. It just makes it a little bit more painful, you know, because not all fish live for a long time today. So I just don't like naming them. I just like enjoying them as they are, except for a couple of them that was an accident. Obviously, we got Timmy down here, who's been with me now for 4.5 years, something like that. So yeah, he's obviously got a name. And more recently, I've accidentally named Chunks here, just because I just kept saying, he's such a chunk. And then before you know it, yeah, he's so personable. And look at him, he's so great. But yeah, I don't really name any other fish. So yeah, let's get this little guy out, put him in his new home. I know he's going to enjoy it. He's in here with shrimp as well, so and all the shrimp are good. So hopefully, you know, the shrimp that's in there with him will be good as well. Okay, here we go then. In goes our little BETTA. Don't worry, all the temperatures match. Oh yes, looking perfect. Wow. Very nice colours. So far he's gone straight to the area where there's maximum flow, but he'll work out, okay, I'll go somewhere else to the tank. Everywhere else is slow, but obviously because of how this just swirls around. But there we go, look, he's fine. Going over into the back area there. There you go, buddy. So basically what we've created here is a very simple design. I've done that on purpose, obviously, so you guys can have a go at it, but it's also really good for a BETTA. There's all those hiding spots in there. The background plants as well, that Thalassoneria will creep over and create like a canopy over the top. And then all the foreground plants, they will actually spread everywhere as well. They're literally already starting to do it. I can see a few little nodes coming off. Oh, there's our shrimp. Hello, buddy. Yeah, a lot of the crypts you're seeing there as well, some of those will go a little bit rough and then the new leaves will come through, will look even better because at the moment that's all immersed growth. But this will be a little jungle tank, nice and simple. Nothing's going to grow too fast, which means there's not going to be a lot of maintenance as well. Now obviously the whole thing is uncycled, so I will put in some beneficial bacteria and keep an eye on the water chemistry over the next couple of weeks just to make sure there's no spikes in nitrite or ammonia, which would be very unlikely with this amount of plants in a tank anyway, because they use that for food to grow. I think it's a good shout to put the lid back on right now because that water level is quite close to the surface and we don't want to jump in, do we? Some BETTAs don't jump, but some do. You don't really want to take the risk. Look at that. It looks really nice, doesn't he? Seems to be settled in straight away, not panicky, not hiding, exploring. That's exactly what you want to see. Now, for those of you that don't know, you don't want to put another fish in with a male BETTA. They're like solitary sort of animals. They don't like others around them, and they will fight possibly to the death. Not because they're like ripping body parts off, just because constant stress of the losing fish means that it will just die. So they're fish that you just keep on their own and just enjoy them. They like it, don't worry about that. You can put in some smaller fish with them if you want. Some BETTAs are okay with it. Some are hyper aggressive and just kill everything. But yeah, this one, I'm not sure. I've not put any fish with it. I don't think I'm going to. I think it's just nice to have a small tank like this that's perfect size for him. Any more in there, it's going to be a little bit dense, you know what I mean? But yeah, give this one a go, guys. Nice kit that you can set up, and look at that. It just looks nice and tidy, minimal maintenance, and a place you can just enjoy your fish.